At the entrance of the court hall, Duryodhana, his brothers, Shakuni, and Karna welcomed Krishna. Duryodhana even invited him for dinner. However, Krishna politely declined, saying, "King, as an envoy, I must first complete my mission before accepting such hospitality. Today, I will be a guest at Vidura's house, fulfilling an old promise. Tomorrow, after the peace talks, I may accept your invitation if all goes well." With that, Krishna took his leave from Dhritarashtra and went to Vidura's house, where he visited his aunt, Kunti. When Krishna met Kunti, he reassured her that the Pandavas were in good health and hopeful for the future. Kunti, however, wept bitterly, recalling the many hardships her sons had endured. She believed that fate had not favored them. Krishna comforted her, saying that in the end, righteousness would prevail. Vidura, however, warned Krishna that his peace mission was destined to fail. He said, "Duryodhana is stubborn and foolish, surrounded by wicked advisors. His arrogance has grown stronger, especially now that he has gathered 11 powerful armies. He thinks he is unbeatable because Bhishma and Drona are on his side, not to mention Karna." Vidura also expressed concern for Krishna's safety and advised him not to go to the Kaurava court, fearing danger to his life. Despite the concerns, Krishna enjoyed his time with Vidura. They discussed various topics, and Krishna was treated with great hospitality. A famous story from Indian folklore tells how Vidura, in a moment of deep devotion and absent-mindedness, offered Krishna banana peels instead of the fruit itself. Krishna, filled with love for Vidura, graciously accepted the peels, while the fruit was mistakenly thrown away. Krishna, deeply absorbed in Vidura's devotion, unknowingly ate the banana peels, thinking they were a thoughtful offering. It was only the next morning, when a servant pointed it out, that Vidura realized his mistake and felt deeply embarrassed. The following day, Duryodhana, along with his entourage, arrived at Vidura's house to escort Krishna to Dhritarashtra's court with grand ceremony. When Krishna entered the royal court, he was greeted with a standing ovation. He respectfully greeted the elders and smiled warmly at the others before taking his seat. After the formalities were completed, Krishna stood and addressed Dhritarashtra. "I come here as a messenger of peace from the Pandavas. You already know everything I am about to say, for you are well versed in righteousness, law, and justice. The kings of the Kuru dynasty have always been known for their generosity, valor, and truth. As their leader, it is your duty to uphold this noble tradition, and I hope your sons will follow it as well. The Pandavas have always been devoted to you and wish for peace and friendship with your children. No reasonable person would ever choose war, which is destructive and costly. Princes have a duty to protect their people, and sacrificing them in battle is a grave sin. If the Pandavas and Kauravas stand together, they would form an unbreakable brotherhood. All the Pandavas ask is the return of their rightful kingdom. As a sign of goodwill, Yudhishthira has said he would be content with just 5 villages for his brothers, 1 for each of them. However, though they desire peace, the Pandavas are fully prepared for war if necessary." The assembly fell into a tense silence after Krishna's firm statement about the looming war. He then turned to address the gathered members of the court with a passionate appeal. Krishna addressed the assembly, saying, "If injustice is not challenged with righteousness, and lies are not met with truth, the honorable members here will be responsible. The assembly will be cursed forever. It is the duty of every member to uphold justice and truth. If they don't, they are committing moral suicide. Truth shines on its own, and justice is eternal." The assembly listened attentively. Krishna's presence was captivating. His dark complexion resembled a rain cloud, and his words were like distant thunder. His occasional smile flashed like lightning, and the audience, mesmerized, seemed like a fresh mountain range blooming after the rains. Krishna continued, "Why should innocent and peace-loving people die just to satisfy the selfish desires of princes whose greed has led to this war? It is now up to Dhritarashtra to make a decision, either with or without the consent of his children." With that, Krishna sat down, waiting for a response. Dhritarashtra turned to Duryodhana and said, "I fully agree with every word Krishna has spoken. For the sake of peace, you must return the Pandavas' rightful share of the kingdom." Duryodhana stood and, addressing his father, said, "I refuse to be intimidated by threats. The Pandavas lost their kingdom fairly in a game of dice, You wronged me by giving them half the kingdom when I was young. The kingdom rightfully belongs to the eldest prince, and I simply corrected that mistake. Now that they are prepared for war, all talk of justice and fairness is pointless. Let them fight for what they want. The fact that they are asking for peace by requesting just 5 villages shows their weakness. I am innocent in this. My conscience is clear. If I agree to give them even 5 villages, Duryodhana stood defiantly, declaring, I might as well give away half my kingdom as offer any land to the Pandavas. Let me be clear, I will not surrender even a needle's worth of territory. Hearing this, Sri Krishna's anger flared. His calm eyes, usually like serene white lotuses, blazed with fury, and it seemed as if fire sparked from them. Rising from his seat, he spoke sternly, Duryodhana, why act as if you're innocent? Everyone knows how you and Shakuni schemed to deceive Dharmaputra in the dice game. Can you really claim to be guiltless? What about the humiliation you planned for Draupadi?